Hey guys, I just wanted to fill you in on what's been going on our last couple days. We were talking about the aftermath of World War I and what ultimately is going to happen to Germany that's going to start to contribute to the issues that will eventually lead to a Second World War. So we see this picture here. We've got our four main leaders of the Paris Peace Conference. We've got the President of the United States, Woodrow Wilson. Got the French president, George Clemenceau, and then we've got David Lloyd George of England and Vittorio Orlando of Great Britain. And these guys are going to get together with many other countries involved. Japan has an important role, for example. They're going to get together in Paris in January of 1919 to discuss the treaty that will ultimately end the First World War. This treaty is going to be a dictated treaty, or what Germans call a diktat, a dictated treaty to Germany. They don't have any say in the negotiations. They just have to take what comes to them. And ultimately, we want to make sure we can hammer home the idea that all of these countries, they've got different ideas of what they want out of this treaty. The United States under Woodrow Wilson, he really wants to shape a treaty in the method of his 14 points. Make the world open to free trade, respect the self-determination of many European peoples, and create a League of Nations. So there maybe could be a future war avoided. France, on the other hand, they suffered the worst during the First World War, and they want to make sure that Germany is so crippled, so destroyed that it can never muster an attack against France again. Britain, they're kind of a middle-of-the-road country. They weren't attacked like France was, certainly, as an island nation, but they certainly need to punish Germany because they'd been in the war since 1914, and they had suffered a lot as well. So ultimately, these guys are going to get together and push out a compromise agreement known as the Treaty of Versailles. We've got four main areas of punishments that Germany is going to deal with. First of all, Germany is going to lose territory. They're going to lose territory all around their country. They're going to give up some land to a newly created Poland, which you notice here is going to bisect Germany. This is what's called the Polish corridor. So Germany, there's going to be two parts of the German state. Germany is going to lose some land to Denmark in the north. Germany is going to lose Alsace and Lorraine to France in the west. Germany is going to lose some land to the newly formed Czechoslovakia. So Germany is going to lose land. They're also going to lose their overseas holdings. They're not going to have their colonies anymore. Germany is also going to have the Rhineland. This area around the Rhine River, it's going to be militarily occupied. They're going to lose the ability to keep their army in the Rhineland. It's going to be demilitarized from German forces. In addition to the demilitarization of the Rhineland, Germany is going to lose much of its army, much of its armed forces. They can only have a 100,000-man army. They are going to lose their navy to the Allies. No more submarines, no air force for the Germans. And then the Germans are going to be forced to sign what's called Article 231 of the treaty. It's the war guilt clause, and this is going to be Germany accepting responsibility for the war, which sets Germany up for having to pay reparations. They're going to be forced to pay over $30 billion in reparations. It's about $400 billion in today's dollars. So we want to remember that the United States, Britain, and France, none of them really agreed to what the others wanted, so they come to this compromise agreement. And in the end, Germany is left broken. It's left embattled. They're angry. There's frustrations in Germany, but the country is still largely intact. A couple other points of the Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, that treaty that Germany had signed with Russia, or forced Russia to sign, that treaty was voided. Germany is not going to be allowed to have a union with a newly formed Austria to its south. That's called Anschluss. That's going to be forbidden. And then one last bit of the Treaty of Versailles, in fact, it's the first articles of the Treaty of Versailles, is a League of Nations will be created. It is the one thing that Woodrow Wilson really stuck to his guns. He wanted the establishment of a new international agreement, and he's going to get that with the League of Nations. the first 10 articles of the Treaty of Versailles actually create the League of Nations. And you're going to remember that because the United States never actually ratifies the Treaty of Versailles, our Senate doesn't agree to that treaty, that the League of Nations will never actually be, or the United States, pardon me, will never actually join the League of Nations. Germany isn't in the League of Nations at its birth, and neither is the Soviet Union. They are not included in this treaty negotiations. So after World War I, we have a world that's going to look a little bit different. We've got a smaller Germany that's bisected. We've got a new Poland on the map. The Austro-Hungarian Empire is broken up. Now we have an Austria and a Hungary and a Czechoslovakia. We got a new Yugoslavian nation that is made out of much of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So our map is going to look quite different, and we are going to be ready to move our way into studying World War II, or the move to global war, very shortly. Take it easy, guys. See you soon.